Praise be Jesus Christ, now and forever. As we continue to hear the Easter Gospels, different accounts of the appearances of the Lord, last Sunday we heard the famous account of the road to Emmaus and how Jesus, we are told, was recognized in the breaking of the bread. That's surely one of the most beautiful and faith-strengthening moments in the New Testament. I was particularly struck by how Jesus addresses the two men and us walking on that road. He calls them and us foolish, and in one translation, slow of heart to believe. That's a word of the Lord for many in contemporary society, and if we have a modicum of humility, for ourselves. But it's most certainly directed at the great and the good, the sophisticates and the elites, and those educated with advanced degrees in imbecility. As we recall, just a few weeks ago, we spoke important words, reaffirming our baptismal promises. Words are not, as the saying goes, cheap. Vows or promises should not be taken or made lightly, because we will be held to account over the promises we have made. I had the great privilege last Sunday in being part of the reception into the Catholic Church of two adults, a father and a daughter, who had made the decision to become Catholics independently, but essentially for the same reason. Seeing adults become Catholics, especially in these hostile and difficult times for the faith, is, I believe, a shot in the arm for all of us who call ourselves followers of the Lord Jesus Christ. It's a time to thank God for the gift that we have received, the gift that was passed down by our parents or which we embraced at some point in our lives. They repeated the baptismal promises after proclaiming the creed, which is actually an affirmation of the truth, the pursuit of which had been the uniting factor in their decision to become Catholic. It's not a triumphalist statement to say you have found the truth, although perhaps we deserve a bit of triumphalism once in a while. It's actually a moment of supreme humility. It's an acknowledgement of something greater than yourself. It is, in a sense, an obeisance, a bowing to the truth. It is not triumphalist to proclaim that the truth exists. It can be found and followed, because the one we follow proclaimed himself to be the truth. The denial of the truth, the idea of there being my truth and your truth, in other words, no truth, is something the famous dissident and president of Czechoslovakia, Václav Havel, speaking of life under communism, but very relevant today, he called it living in a contaminated moral environment. Havel said, "We have become morally ill because we became used to saying something different from what we thought." That is the world of today, the world of cancellation, of fear, of silence. Chesterton, speaking in the 1930s, described then as an age of prejudice. How much more so today? The greatest prejudice is against the truth, especially if it is at variance with social mores. Truth exists. The denial of that is prejudice, and we make the bold claim, which can be freely accepted or rejected, that the fullness of the truth is found in the Catholic faith. Baptismal promises, converts' promises, affirm that and commit all who say the words to attempt to live them, even though we know we all fall and fail. It will bring consequences, but also a peace and joy the world can never give. Let us be neither foolish or slow of heart to believe that. Brethren, rejoice, be perfected, be comforted, be of the same mind, be at peace, and the God of peace and love will be with you.